Alright everybody, this is your boy Tony, TunedinTony on Instagram, and I'm here with Andre Norman. This is the Business Entrepreneurship Unlocked podcast, and I just had to get this guy on the show because I was talking to my business partner Justin from Support Black College that works with me, and he brought in this guy named Andre Norman to the podcast. This guy. Yeah, just this guy. And then I was like just chopping it up with him, and he was telling me his story, and I just thought that it was so cool. So from what I heard, he was like, I was in jail for 14 years, and then now he actually has a company that goes back and has some type of help and speaks to the people that are in jail. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself a little bit more, but I just had to talk to this guy, and I thought it would be cool, you know, for you guys to experience a little bit what he's doing on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, I definitely appreciate you having me, brother. It's an honor to be here. I mean, like in the office, and shout out to Justin.
Oh, yeah,
saying,
for
the
sure.
HBCUs, you know what I'm saying, go get your gear. But what I do for a living is called leadership development.
Okay.
I go around the world and I teach world leaders how to do and be better.
Nice.
So I've worked in over 30 countries.
Okay.
I've worked for multiple presidents of the United States.
Okay.
I'm on deck to go see the one we have now.
Okay.
And I've worked in all kinds of business lines, from Harvard Business School, from Harvard Law School, London Business School, MIT, White House, Congress,
Nice.
across the plate.
You did all of this from after being in jail for 14 years.
I grew up in the hood, you know what I'm saying, you
Okay.
watch mom get punched in the face, and you watch kids throw rocks at you. I grew up back in the days, and they used to call you niggas. You go through the trauma, your dad leaves, so like,
Yeah.
okay. I grew up thinking I can hit people because I watched my mom be hit.
Right.
And I can quit anytime I want because my dad walked out on us. So that was kind of like my mindset.
That traumatized had just got into your mindset.
I mean, no, I watched my mother get beat, so I'm
Yeah.
like, if my mother get hit, why can't you get hit?
So did you have a lot of fights in school? And
It's not so much I had a lot of fights, but that's how I resolve differences.
got you.
So if you got me to a point, I had no problem hitting people. I didn't look to hit people,
Right.
but I wasn't afraid to hit people.
Right.
I didn't think it was wrong.
Right. So as a kid, just seeing that, where was your mental at just being at home?
That's normal.
That's normal.
I grew up from 0 to 9, and that's what I saw.
Dang.
So you couldn't tell me that having a bunch of... I see people who are only children, I don't understand it. Because
Gotcha.
I had 5 brothers and sisters.
Right.
I mean, I grew up playing with them. I grew up running around the house with them. So when I see people with no brothers and sisters, it's like, huh?
Right.
How did you not
Because
have
I'm
6
an only
kids?
child.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So listen to your story. The reason why I am so interested is because, like, come from such a different background. But if I look at all of my best friends, they all have like different backgrounds than I do. So I do gravitate towards understanding and being enlightened of these different walks of life.
Well, unresolved trauma is always looking to be activated.
Right.
That's the thing. So I took my trauma into elementary school where I was deemed illiterate. Took it into middle school where kids told me I was poor. So I started hustling so I can buy the things not to be made fun of. And then you just get on that track. And then I used to play the trumpet.
Okay.
I made it to high school and I was in the band, and my friends told me playing the trumpet was stupid, it didn't make sense. So I quit playing the trumpet.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I'm in the street all day.
Right.
Growing up poor was horrible.
Got you.
Growing up without a dad was horrible. Growing up, my mom working 3 jobs was horrible. Growing up without a dream is impossible.
That's crazy. That's amazing, really. So you grew up with that lifestyle from 0 to 9. What happened after 9?
9, like I said, I get to middle school, I found out I'm poor. I started hustling, selling weed after school. You just doing little stuff.
Because at a young age, you don't really know you're poor.
Elementary school, nobody knows.
Yeah. You're just going
Everybody's
with the flow.
playing.
Yeah, everyone's playing. Then you start seeing the difference in kids in middle school, right?
Middle school, people got cool stuff.
Right.
They got fly stuff.
Right.
They got the nice bag. We used to go to the store before school and everybody buy a bag of candy. I couldn't buy candy.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? And they used to make fun of me. We get to the school, oh, you didn't got the right clothes on. They make fun of you. You didn't got the right headphones. You didn't got the right this. And they told me about myself in middle school to the point where I had to change.
And now you just your mind starts processing like, I'm different.
No, I'm like, not processing different. I'm being made fun of every day.
Gotcha. So are you going home at that point trying to like confide in your mother and then ask like why?
That's not why.
Okay.
They make it clear.
Right.
The stuff you have is not cool.
Right.
And then you could see it because now you're looking. I wasn't paying attention in 5th grade.
Right.
We just played all day.
Right.
So long story short, you get through that, and I start. My out to that was selling weed in the park. So now.
How'd you get into selling weed? I know how, but like, what was the connection at that point?
One of my friends in school had the same problem I had. He said, "Dre, man, these kids is evil. we can go to the park. We weren't really weed dealers. We would run for the old deals.
Got you.
So you be in the park selling weed, you're an older kid. We run back and forth to the stash and bring you bags.
Got
So
you.
you get like 30, 40 bucks at the end of the day. But as a sixth grader, that's a lot of money.
Got you.
That was enough to get a pair of sneakers. That was enough to buy candy at the store.
Got you.
It was enough to, when I went through the cafeteria line, and I was a free lunch kid, I could pay for my lunch.
Mm.
So those things gave me esteem. Those things validated me. So I said, never again will I be poor or be made fun of for not having.
Okay, so now you have your entrepreneurial endeavors going through, like selling weed. Where does it go after that? Are you in high school now?
I'm still in middle school. What happened one day, we supposed to be in the park from 3 to 6, because back in the days, the young kids couldn't stay in the park all night. There was rules. We had rules back in the day. So we hustled from like 3 to 6, 3 to 7, and the older kids would come out, and we would really leave. So one day we playing, we don't make it to the park.
Right.
Me and my man. So I'm like, yo, Ty, we gonna miss our money because it's 6 o'clock. We didn't miss our money. And we're like, yo, John down there getting all our money, and John soft.
Yeah.
So let's just go catch
So the
John.
competition kind of came in.
No, it was like, we didn't go to the park because we was out playing, so we missed our time.
Gotcha.
But we knew John didn't miss.
Right.
John was on time every day.
Right.
So he get our money and probably his money. I said, we went down there, we just robbed John.
Yeah.
So we went to the park and we robbed John for his money.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are we sitting in the park all day when we can just rob the dudes at the end of the day?
Right.
So we went from drug dealers to drug stick-up kids.
Mm. And see, what I just heard from that, the good thing is, like, fast forwarding what you're doing to today, is if you go back in time and just look at just your normal life of trying to survive and just trying to fit in, of just how that pattern gets ingrained into children's minds, and then that's how they get into the system.
Right.
Because now you went from middle school to elementary school, you were like normal, right? We're just playing. I get to middle school, stuff's different. I'm getting made fun of. I don't have the cool stuff. Then somebody presents you with a solution that's selling marijuana, which is so many kids, young kids, the path that they take just to be able to survive and have what they need. So then now you go from doing that to when there's a time. Yeah, you're on the path to when you're you miss your time. Now it's like, what can we do? We can jack them, we can rob them. And then it's just the pattern.
I became a jack boy.
Yeah.
It was just so much easier, so much less time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody did a talk today about getting your time back, buying your time back.
Right.
So, man, I can go out and hang out all day, just have to work for 10 minutes.
Right.
So we started robbing kids our age in different parks. Long story short, we end up in the street. You go through, I can tell you my career trajectory through the streets, which is no different than anybody else's at that age, 13, 14, 15, in and out of juvie. Then I get to the point when I'm an adult. I end up in Superior Court, and they start reading off sentences. 7 to 10 for armed robbery, 9 to 10.
These are your first charges.
This is when I first got sentenced.
Okay.
See, this is the thing, bail money.
Right.
I was good with bail money.
Right.
So I catch a case, I bail out.
Right.
I catch a case, I bail out.
And you're used to that.
Yeah, that's the hustle. If
Right.
you can't bail out, you shouldn't be in the street.
Right.
So, but at some point, all that stuff catches up to you, and there's no more bail. Then you end up in front of the judge, and they decide to give me 7 to 10, 2 9 to 10s, 2 10s, 2 15 to 20s, and a 5.
Got you.
They put me in the van, drive me to the penitentiary, see you later, bye.
So where I want to break down is, like, so many of us watch movies, right? We see sentences, we see innocent black men going to jail.
I wasn't innocent.
Not saying you weren't. We're saying, just different things. Where is your mindset at that point when you're a young African-American male, you're sitting in the courtroom, and then you hear the sentence?
One, I couldn't count that high.
Right.
Because I couldn't do the math right.
Right.
I mean, I'm great with math, but I couldn't do that math because it was personal. 2, I was happy at one level because my OG, the dude I looked up to since I was 12, caught a life sentence 4 years before me. Now I get to go hang out with him.
Oh, okay.
So he was like a father figure to me.
So you're looking at it like, oh.
Summer camp.
Summer camp. Okay.
Endless summer camp.
So you're not even thinking about, no, I'm not going to be around women anymore. Like, I'm not going to be on the freedom.
See, you think of the things like that because you're a free guy.
Right.
I've been stuck in this rut since 6th grade.
Gotcha.
So I've been hustling in and out of juvie. First it's out of the principal's office.
Right.
Now it's in and out of juvie. Then it's in and out of the county. Now, so by the time you get to the stage of getting a sentence, you've been conditioned.
You're in that system.
You're conditioned.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you jump in the pool at the other end, why you talking about why am I wet? Because you've been in the pool all this time.
Right.
I'm conditioned. I had wrinkled fingers from being in the water so long.
And it was nothing.
It was nothing. I didn't want to be there. I wasn't excited about it. I was actually scared just because I'm going to maximum security prisons, but it was what I prepared for. It's like the rookie's first game in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's nervous, but he's been playing basketball since 6.
Yeah.
So the nerves are there. You know what I'm saying? But you get to go play with your idol. So I saw myself as a tough guy.
Yeah.
So now I get to go hang out with the tough guys.
Right.
Up at the state penitentiary. It's scary.
Right.
But it's the challenge that you've been looking for because you've been trying really hard to get here.
And what I'm hearing too is just like growing up in that path that so many of us grow up in. It's like just the conditioning and the training is just so normal, you know?
Oh, it's completely normal.
Like what we all think that a normal child's mind should be is thinking about the next level of school, the next college, cars, marriage, all that type of stuff. And you're just being conditioned for the prison system, and they're just spoon feeding the kids into it because that's just the life that they're put in, and that's just how you're flowing through naturally.
Right. So when I get to the penitentiary, I'm nervous, but the thing that happened when I walked into the unit, my man Melvin came up to me, who I knew from the dummy class in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
He said, "Man, what took you so long? We knew you was coming.
Dang.
Everybody's here."
Yeah.
I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "All my friends from the dummy class, all my friends from special needs, all my friends from the principal's office, from juvie, they were all at the penitentiary." It was like a giant reunion of everybody who just messed up in life.
And is this when you did the 14-year sentence?
I went in, yes. I only did 1 sentence.
Okay.
I went in and had about 100 total.
Okay.
But when I first went in, all those numbers added up to like 97 years. I was supposed to do like
They let you
17.
go concurrent?
Some of them were concurrent, one was from and after.
Okay.
So when I got there, then I had a choice. I can go to school, get a GED, get a forklift certificate, or I can go run with the homies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought about going to school.
Right.
Then the homies told me, well, if you go to school and you want to do that lane, then you're going to be by yourself because we're out on this yard holding it down, hustling.
Right.
And if you by yourself, the Aryans, the Mexicans, the other black gangs are all going to come run up on you and kill you because you were solo. Solo don't work here.
So now what I'm trying to do is for the people break down the mind, like where the mind's thinking at this point. So now you're like, I'm about to hang out with the OGs, survival. So you go from, oh, it's whatever, hanging out with the G's, I'm ready for this. I was bred for this in a sense.
Right.
So now you're there, and then now you have choices to make. Where is your mindset now from? Because you went from like, oh, this is easy, I'm gonna knock this out. I'm not even really thinking about the time. To now it's like you have to make choices.
When I went down to the case manager's office and she told me about GED, college classes, forklift, and all these certificates in welding, I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Then I went back to the block. The homies were like, that don't work.
Right.
Because if you're going to go lone wolf, bro, you ain't going to last long.
Right.
So I had a choice of education or staying alive.
Right.
I chose staying alive.
Makes
I
sense.
said, you take the book, give me the knife, and let's go.
Right.
And I went on the yard. We work out in the morning. We handle our business. We get our hustle on. We do our thing, and that's what we do. Every day you get up and you hustle.
Yeah.
You have 2,000 people in this prison.
Mm-hmm.
All of them were hustlers before they got there.
Yeah.
All of them were criminals before they got there.
Yeah.
Simply putting them behind the wall didn't stop from being what they were.
Got you. How would you say you made it through those 14 years? Was it?
My first 6 months just so happened, I always say this preface, when I got off the bus, they're going to say, where you from? Mm-hmm. So we're in Georgia. They say, where you from? Well, I'm from Toledo. I'm from here. I'm from there. I'm from Augusta. When I got off the bus, they said, where you from? I tell them where I'm from. They say, oh, you with those guys? That's it.
Yeah.
So if you're in Georgia and you get off the bus, you're from Atlanta, you're from Augusta, you're from Macon, you're from one of these towns, and you're going to get in with your town.
Got you.
Full stop. When I got off the bus, the town that I was from, nothing to do with me. Those guys just so happen to be the bosses of the prison.
Got you.
So I got off the bus. They're like, who do you know? Where you from?
So
I'm
you
from
easily start getting segmented into your groups.
Yeah, instantly.
Yeah,
Easily.
Yeah.
If you go into the rap game, you say, yo, well, I'm from Compton. Guess who you gonna get down with?
Compton.
Dre.
Yeah.
I'm from Marcy. You in with Jay-Z. Well, I'm from Tuscaloosa. Sorry.
Right. So it's automatic.
It's not non-negotiable.
Got you. Okay.
It's automatic. As long as you ain't filed, they're gonna receive you.
Got you. So when you were going through jail, because I was talking to a friend that just got out for 6 years, and the question I asked him was, when did it feel like you were in jail for real? Because at first you're going through it, you're like, oh, okay, you're not truly thinking about it, you're just thinking like, this isn't real, I'm gonna figure out how to get out.
No, I didn't know the scene. No, wrong guy. When I went in, I was committed.
Got you.
I got down with the team. I'm with the homies. I'm in the organization, and I'm trying to put in work.
Work your way up.
Work my way up. That was my goal. And now people don't understand commerce in prison.
Got you.
Prison with 2,000 people.
Okay.
Let's make 50% of them drug addicts, which is a small number. It's more like 90. That's 1,000 people. A bag of heroin sold on the yard in the prison is $50. So if I can sell a bag of heroin to every addict, that's $50,000 a day, $350 a month, $1.4 million $350 a week, 1.4 a month in heroin sales. If you only sell one bag, and if only them are 50% of addicts.
While incarcerated.
Drugs behind the wall there. Everybody in there's a drug addict.
No.
You have a population of people that want to buy from you that are confined. They can't buy anyplace else. I didn't control that type of money.
Right.
I'm just saying the type of money that's there. So there's like $1 million a month in heroin sales.
And is this being bought with actual money?
Yeah. Well, I sell you a bag of dope, then I'm gonna hand you an address and tell you how your people send it to me now. They cash that.
Got you.
Everybody got cell phones.
Yeah.
So cash
New age in there.
New age, so they cash. Back in the day, your girl would mail it to my house, and we'll get the money on that end. But you're talking about a jail with 2,000 people. You're looking at easily $2-3 million a month in drug sales going on.
Commerce.
In jail. In jail. So nobody's fighting for colors.
Yeah.
Side. They're fighting for positioning and land territory. They're trying to get their segment of the drug money. So the stronger your crew, the more money you get.
So what I want to do at this point, just to put a spin on Entrepreneurship Unlocked, is just because this is a real topic that a lot of people are affected by, a lot of people go through, is when you say that, it's just building a business while in jail. So what are the steps that you took from going from literally wet behind the ears, just I'm bred for this, I'm prepared for this, to actually having a business in jail?
The business was there when I got there.
Got you.
So I didn't create the business.
How'd you get in?
I'm from the neighborhood.
Got you.
And my guys that I'm with had a large share of the market. So when I came in, they give me work. Yo, Dre, this is your job.
Yeah.
You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. And you say, okay, cool. You sign up, you salute, and you do it.
Right.
So I came in a soldier. I didn't come in a boss. I came in a soldier. Hands down, I took orders. Hands down.
Got you.
This is how we moving. And I moved in accordance.
And it ran just like a business.
There was a CEO.
Okay.
And there was everybody down the line. And you start the mailroom and you work your way up. Or you don't.
Got you.
So when I came in, the boss, I guess we're all from the same neighborhood, I spent a lot of time just watching him. You know what I'm saying? Because I just watched how he moved. I watched how he talked to people. I watched how he interacted with people. And I just watched him. He was my hero anyways before I got there.
Got you.
So I wanted to be around him just because. And then I had the habit of studying people.
Gotcha.
And so I studied him and I started learning how to move based on how he moved.
Okay.
And for the first 6 years, I did 9 state transfers. They kicked me out of Massachusetts. I went through 9 different states, federal penitentiary, Lewisburg, Terre Haute, Atlanta, all these penitentiaries, shipped me around the country. You seen Connie, I lived in.
And why are they moving you at this time?
Because violence.
Okay.
I'm a violent inmate. So I'm stabbing people, I'm getting into beefs, you know what I'm saying, I'm hurting people, I'm attacking staff. And they got to the point where they said, okay, he has to go.
Right.
So they put me on a van, they sent me to the federal prison. They kicked me out of the state. I get to Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. I get into another beef and somebody else gets stabbed and they send me to Oklahoma, then they send me to Tennessee, and they send me to Indiana. And it just, you bounce around. I got kicked out of the federal government and they sent me back to Massachusetts. Then I picked up 2 attempted murder charges and I found myself in
jail.
Oh yeah. They didn't let me out for the weekend.
Dang.
So now I'm in solitary with another 10 years added to my sentence.
Okay.
And I think I'm winning.
How long are you in solitary?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. How long do you get out?
You get an hour a day.
And you're still in solitary while you're out.
You come out into a cage, like a dog kennel, like a real dog kennel for an hour a day.
Where's your mental at while you're in that room?
My mental is I'm winning.
Okay.
I'm winning. My mom came to see me and she said, how did you get in jail? I said, Mom, I'm working hard. This is not easy. And she looked at me. She's talking about my trumpet I used to play and my brothers and my sisters and my niece. I'm like, nah, I'm getting status. I'm getting money.
Yeah.
I'm holding it down. I got ranking. And she's looking at me like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm looking like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, you married a bank robber and a drug dealer.
Right.
You should be proud of me right now.
Right.
I heard all the stories about my stepdad being hit. I got more status than both of them put together. You should really love me because you love thugs.
Right.
And she's just, you know.
And what I'm seeing is just how you've been shaped as a kid to like where you're at now to like now where you're looking at what most of us are looking like, oh, never. But you're looking at this as like an accolade for like the work that you're putting in.
You married a bank robber and you had 4 kids with a drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
So You married a bank robber. You had kids with a drug dealer. I became someone who robbed drug dealers. It made perfect sense to me.
Gotcha.
And when she walked out crying, I thought, she don't get it.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking that I'm winning because I got all this, what I call status.
Right.
And what I didn't find out until 2 years later, that I was a king of nowhere.
Yeah. That's what I was about to ask you. I was going to say, so now you're in all these jails, you're in solitary. So now when you look back on that kid that's coming through the whole system, that's seeing himself as working his way up, winning, you know, making achievements, and this is literally like your dream at this moment. So
I wasn't thinking about going home.
Right. So now are you feeling like dream deferred? Like
what dream deferred?
Right. But I'm saying that was your dream.
So the dream.
Right. Okay.
What happened is when I woke up and I realized that I was the king of nowhere.
Right.
And that the whole thing was just fake.
Right.
In a sense
what year are we at?
90. I'm in year 6.
6 of 14.
6 of 14.
Okay.
So now I wake up and I'm like, I'm the king of nowhere.
Yeah.
If you're the boss, Andre, do the one thing for yourself that you really wanted to do. Let yourself out.
Yeah.
And when I got posed with that question, if you're really the boss that you say you are, let yourself out of here.
Yeah. And
I couldn't. So then they said, you're not the boss.
Mm.
So after some soul searching, I said, okay, if I can't be the king of this place, it doesn't make sense to be here.
Right.
I'm a logical dude. So I said,
what'd you do?
For the first time in 6.5 years, I said I want to go home.
Okay.
So I said, okay. I looked around because I'm analytical. White, black, Spanish, kitchen workers, church dudes, Muslims, this group, that group, ball players, chess players. Nobody went home and did good. They all came back. So I said, free don't work.
Right.
I don't want to be free because free ain't working for nobody.
When you say free, you talking about like out of jail?
People get free from jail.
Yeah.
I looked at every subgroup in prison that got free.
Right.
White, black, Spanish, Asian, Muslim, Christian, chess players, whoever. They all got free.
Yeah.
And they all came back. Everybody who got free came back.
Yeah.
60, 70% of the people came right back.
And so where's your mind now?
Free don't work.
Free don't work.
I don't want free.
So then where do you pivot?
I said, who doesn't come here?
Yeah.
I said, successful people. I said, if I can be successful, then I won't come here.
Right.
So I said, where do successful people come from? I deduced college. I said, I'll go home, go to college, and never come back.
Got you. So you're in year 6 of 14.
Yep.
You start understanding that, you know, the path that you were taking has led you to be the boss, the king. The
king of nowhere.
King of nowhere. Then you start breaking down analytically all the different subgroups of the people that are in jail, and you're looking at all these people that do get free or coming back.
Exactly.
So now you do decide, you find one particular group and you notice that the successful people aren't coming back.
Aren't coming here.
Aren't coming here.
Yes.
Got you. So then now you figuring I have to pivot my mindset. What do you do to start pivoting your mindset so you can become successful?
I picked a place where successful people come from. I said, I'll go there. And if I can go where they are and do what they do, then I'll be successful too.
And at the time, where was that place?
Harvard University.
Okay.
So I said, I'm going to go home, go to Harvard, be successful. Just like that.
So is this after year 14?
No, I'm year 6, sitting in a cell with a 100-year sentence.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going home, going to Harvard, I'm going to be successful.
So how are you going home?
I wrote out my plan.
Yeah.
First, I came out the cell the next day, and I told the homies. I'm like, yo, check this out. I figured it out.
Right.
So I'm going home, going to Harvard, going to be successful.
They're looking at you probably
like I was crazy.
What you talking about?
They looked, and I said it again. They looked at me like I was crazy. They said, nigga, what?
Yeah.
They wanted to laugh, but I had a habit of stabbing people. So nobody laughed. Then my homie pulled me to the side and was like, Dre, what are you talking about? And he tried to talk me out of it.
Right.
But all I heard him talking was my friends in the 9th grade who stole my trumpet.
Mm.
My friends in the 9th grade who talked me out of my trumpet, he sounded it. That's all the words I heard. Every time he spoke, I heard my friends in the 9th grade talking about trumpet is stupid, it's a waste of time. So I ended up just saying, I called my mom, she thought I was crazy, my father thought I was crazy, my grandmother thought I was crazy.
Because you're in jail and you're telling everybody you're
I've been in jail selling drugs, stabbing people for 6 years straight. No
and you saying you about to go to Harvard.
Then I woke up one day and said, I'm going to Harvard. So everybody thought I lost my mind.
And you still had 8
I just picked up 10 years.
Mm.
A year and a half before for stabbing.
So how was this plan going to come together?
Create it first.
Right.
The first thing was to create it. I created it. Then I said, okay, I went in the mirror and I looked in the mirror. And I said, what's inside of me that's stopping this plan from happening? Then I made a list. I'm uneducated. I'm black. I got anger issues. I got knives in myself. I'm part of a gang. I'm saying I like to attack people. I hustle in jail. I'm saying I don't listen. I'm hard-headed. I'm arrogant. I'm saying I just made a list of all my issues, and I started working on them. And it took me 8 years. I taught myself how to read. I taught myself the law. I taught myself, I'm saying, self-help groups. I started going to college classes. I got my GED. Every single day, 8 days, didn't blink. 8 years, 20 hours a day, I worked on my case. I worked on my life. I worked on my attitude. And then I walked out of prison.
That's amazing, because see, the biggest expense that we have in life is not knowing. So at that point, at year 6, you understood what you needed to do in order to be where you are.
Exactly.
So then, where this also relates to business is, a lot of times as new entrepreneurs, we come up with a business idea, and then we pitch it to all of our friends, family, significant others.
You don't understand any of it.
That's exactly what you did. So you're in jail, getting transferred, stabbing people, fighting, got knives in jail, all of the above, and then you come up with a plan, you write it down, and you tell everyone that you're about to go to Harvard. They're looking at you like you're crazy. He's been in there too long. His mind's all over the place.
He snapped.
So then what you do is why everyone's not believing just how the entrepreneur route is. For the last, 8 years, you're putting all your dedication towards this idea that no one else believes in.
Yeah.
And then you get out of jail, and then now it's time from everything you're doing. What do you do at this point? Because now you're out, right?
I'm out. I'm not going to say free, but I'm out.
Right.
They released me. Because free is the parking lot.
Right.
People in the parking lot are technically free. I need to be successful. So I stayed on my plan. I got out November 15th, 99. And January 6th, I was in community college.
Okay.
And I was taking classes. And I kept taking classes. And I kept taking classes. And they have this thing at the college, at community, it's called matriculation agreement. We can take classes on other campuses.
Okay.
So I went up to the guidance council. I said, I heard about this matriculation thing. And they was like, yeah. So I started taking college classes on 3 other campuses.
Okay.
The lady's like, well, we don't recommend that you do that. You should pick one. I said, I asked you what you recommend. I said, can I do it by the policy?
Right.
Does the policy say I can, or do you say I shouldn't? There's
Right.
a difference. He said, technically you can. I said, stop right there. Sign me up. I'm taking classes on 3 different college campuses at once. I wanted the exposure and the experience.
What classes are you taking?
I was taking just general classes.
Yeah.
Math, science, English.
Were you
history.
in like a curriculum?
No,
Or you
I was
taking
community
classes?
college, general studies.
Okay.
I was the same way I got in that park and started running for weed. I said, man, I just need to be in this college, and I'll work the details out later.
Right.
If I'm not here, I'm not in the right space.
Right.
So I started taking writing classes, and I just kept building.
Yeah.
And I went from community college, then a private college gave me a scholarship.
Okay.
Because they saw black men doing good in school is really hard to find as far as colleges.
Yeah.
Then I had a friend connect me to Boston College.
Okay.
So I'm in at Boston College on a free scholarship.
Okay.
And I'm just going for it. And I'm doing work with communities and working with gangs and work with guys coming home from prison, but I'm on track.
Yeah.
Then I ran into a guy from London Business School. His name is Jules Gothard.
Okay.
He came in to do some tour. My boss was like, I worked at a nonprofit. He's like, hey, show these white people around.
Yeah.
So they came with me and they hung out with me for the day. And Jules said, if he can do this with gang members and prostitutes, what can he do with businessmen?
Talking about you.
Talking about me.
Okay.
Because he's seeing me do the work, and I'm like touching people, and I'm helping
Right.
people, and they're like,
He's
get
seeing
me.
your value.
He's seeing value. Then he said, they flew me to London. I go to London Business School. They walk into the building. He says, Dre, I don't have a plan for you. This is Deutsche Bank. Just go in and do what you do. He opened the door. He pushed me in. He said, go for it. There's like 80 guys, white guys in suits that run one of the biggest banks in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Never gave a corporate speech. Never been in a room with 80 white guys.
Yeah.
And I went in and I asked a question. I said, I've never given a corporate speech. I don't know. What do I do to make this better for you?
Yeah.
And the guy stood up. He said, listen, we appreciate you being here. One thing you don't do or don't need to do is talk to us in banking terms. Tell us your story and trust that we're smart enough to draw the lines.
And what are you trying to achieve at this point at the bank?
I'm just trying to motivate and inspire leadership. And I was trying to figure out how to do it because
Gotcha.
I didn't understand
So
that.
you're there to pretty much coach their team, like talk with
These
the
are senior leaders of the bank.
senior leaders.
So I'm supposed to do leadership with them.
Got
And
you.
communication and connectivity.
Got you. So there's still so much more in the story, but like just for the people or whatever, what I'm loving is just the fact of in business, what you went through at a young age is what not everyone has to go through, but a lot go through. But when I'm thinking about people who are just trying to be an entrepreneur, who are always just saying what they are up against and what they can't do and how they're going to get around to starting the business plan and they're going to get around to start doing this. It's like looking at your story, it's like you were up against your past to pivot in your past to now finding a way of what you want to do to become successful, having a business plan that everyone shot down, to getting out of incarceration, going to a community college, not exactly knowing exactly what you needed to do, but I'm gonna just start applying myself, and that's what a lot of people lack, is the application, the execution. To now you've networked, meet the right people, to now you're giving a speech to senior leaders of a banker. Yeah. And that's just showing that like anything's possible. It's
possible, and I've come to learn every top business person. Mm-hmm. I did a presentation with Richard Branson. He owns Virgin Everything. And my buddy who brought him in, I didn't pay his fees or for the private jet, but I'm there. I'm in the room.
Right.
And my buddy says to him, he says, Rich, they're question and answer. He says, what do you do in your downtime? He looked back across the room. He said, listen, he said, I look for good people to hire because I don't run any of my businesses. Mm. I was like, whoa. So Richard Branson is always looking for good people to hire.
Yeah.
AAU coaches are always looking for good ball players.
Right.
Track coaches are always looking for little fast kids.
Right.
Drug dealers are looking for kids who got holes in their shoes.
Right.
Everybody's recruiting.
And see, that's a gem right there just for entrepreneurship, because so many of us get into entrepreneurship and then we think we own a company, but we really own a job. Yeah. So then him right there, Richard Branson, billionaire, saying, I don't run any of my companies. I just find the right people to do it.
Exactly. And so I've been working with London Business School since that day. 20 years now. I've been at London Business School. Deutsche Bank, Dead Foods, Lens Construction, Spinach Petroleum, Ericsson Mobile, Eastman Pharmaceutical. I can go down the list. I mean, I've been doing corporate trainings with London Business School for over 20 years, all billion-dollar clients.
And did it start with Deutsche Bank?
It started when they came to see me in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and they saw the work that I was doing and the effort that I was putting in to the work that I was doing for me.
Got you.
They said, if he can work this hard here, and if he can get these results here, what we got from him is a layup.
Mm. So now you're growing, you're in your own business. How do you get to where you are today? What are you doing today so that people can know?
How did I get to where I got fired?
You got fired?
Yep. I had a business partner that gave me a shot when I first came home. He put me on. We did $25 million my first 4 years out, and we're all over the place. We're in the White House.
$25 million.
$25 million. I get you the article.
From talking.
No, from nonprofit.
Nonprofit. Okay.
We have the top gang program in the country.
Okay, so that's good that the people can know, because I'm piecing it all together.
Oh no, we run a gang. I was a gang member, so I run gang programs. And we had the top gang program in the country. We're advising countries. We're advising the president. We're all over the place because my man was.
So you meet the president?
I didn't meet him.
Okay.
My boss met with him. When I was supposed to go is when I got fired.
Gotcha.
2005 State of the Union, George W. Bush. I was supposed to sit in the press box with his wife. Mm. But me and the boss fell out, and he fired me that October before. Mm. But the plan was, because we've been rocking for 4 years. So Kennedy, Branson, you go down the list. We'd rock with them all.
At this time when you got fired, are you feeling defeated, or have you already built up a bunch of your own networks? What's going on?
Listen, I came from, they say from the mud. Yeah. I came from the cement. Mm. I came straight off the cement.
Yeah.
Prisons are built on cement, not mud. So when we've been doing this.
Yeah.
And as much as people think I need them.
Yeah.
I was raised to rely on Andre.
Right.
I'm raised from birth to rely on me.
Yeah.
So I don't care who the next person is.
Yeah.
I'm built from day one to rely on me.
Yeah.
Because when people didn't bring me food as a kid, I wouldn't found it.
Gotcha.
When people didn't bring me shelter, I wouldn't got it. When people didn't bring me protection, I handled it myself. Right. So any person I engage with down the line, I don't care what kind of admiration or collaboration we have, I've been birthed to rely on me. Because if my father will leave me, anybody else will. Mm, that's my thinking. So we can collaborate. I'm 100% all in. Yeah. But I'm never going to be the point where I'm off balance that if you leave, I'm going to fall.
Right.
So when he was like, yo, this is over, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
even though I didn't have a plan
Yeah.
for the next step or what to do next, I don't know how to cry over people leaving me because I've been dealing with it since first grade. So when he left, no big deal. I just kept pushing. And I had to go start my own company.
Gotcha.
Because I can't eat here no more. I got to go find my own thing. And I sat down and I said, well, what am I good at?
Yeah.
I said, I'm good at speaking. So I'm going to say, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I went online. There's a website called eagletalent.com.
Yeah.
I went on Eagle Talent. You can pick up their website, and there's all the speakers. You can watch video reels of their testimonies or their speeches. So I went on and saw what a $5,000 speaker does. Then a $10,000, then a $20,000. Then the higher up you go, the less videos there are. Because they don't do anything different.
Right.
It's all celebrity.
Right.
I said, I can do that.
Okay.
So I put up a website, started pitching myself. And I got my first speech, January 2005, Richmond, Virginia. There's a juvenile conference. They said they'll pay me $500 in my travel.
You took it.
I took it. And I went. And from that day to this, I went from $500 to $10,000 a speech.
Wow.
I went from flying in coach to flying in first class.
Amazing.
I went from flying by myself to now they fly me and my assistant.
And that's just so important for people to hear, because one of my favorite books for new entrepreneurs is Who Moved My Cheese. Have you ever heard of that book?
I read the book.
Read it, yeah. So in a nutshell, there's a group of mice, kind of like humans in the book, and then there's some people who are complacent. There's some people that kind of complacent, but they figure out how to pivot, and then there's the group that just automatically was always on to the next, not just depending on who's ever feeding them at the moment. And that's the story that I pretty much just heard out of you. And it's just, your story's so different than the average entrepreneur, but there's so many different pieces that touch what an entrepreneur goes through in business, from idea to being let down to having wins, and then sometimes people think that it's going to be there forever, and then getting dropped down to some don't know to go left, and then some automatically go right, and that's what you did.
When I talk to entrepreneurs and I talk to people, first they say, well, you need to qualify that you have the right to talk to them.
Right.
So in that space, there's a group called EO, which stands for Entrepreneurs Organization.
Okay.
There's 14,000 members. They generate like $3 trillion. I'm a member. And there's a group called YPO, Young Presidents Organization, YPO.org. It's the #1 CEO network in the world. They generate like $9 trillion.
Yeah.
I'm the highest rated speaker in their history. There's a group called Genius Network.
Yeah.
Joe Polish, Russell Brunson, Tony Robinson, Dean Gross, they all come out of there.
Gotcha. And you know these
No.
people.
I worked there.
You worked there.
Joe Polish, who runs this, my brother. I've been there for 3 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm part of Genius Network, the #1 mastermind group in the world. London Business School, one of the top business schools in the world.
Yeah.
I got my fellowship at Harvard Law School, one of the top law schools in the world. So I worked at the White House. I worked
So you
at Congress.
actually got to go back and do some stuff at Harvard.
I got a fellowship, yes.
Nice.
And so when I say entrepreneurship, I have over 2,000. My whole phone is nothing but entrepreneurs, business owners.
Yeah.
So all the books that are on my shelf at home,
Yeah.
I know the authors because they handed me the book. So Who Not How by Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy, friends. Vivid Vision, Cameron Herold, friend. I can go down the list.
Yeah.
Never Split the Difference, #1 negotiation book in the world. Chris Voss, friend. In the Phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One to Many, $100 million webinar guy, Jason Flatlin.
Yeah.
Friend. I can go, you know what I'm saying, from love, you know what I'm saying, like to love. You know what I'm saying? Keith Alper, friend. Every last one of these numbers in my phone.
And see,
I don't even touch books. I don't know the people.
See, that's amazing, because I'm just hearing so much of how I'm not even thinking monetary or anything, just how you beat the odds. Like you literally went from all the ideas to like your network, and you know how they say that your network is your net worth in a sense. So it's like all these people from being educated, from looking up to them, to now it's like
walking
friends,
with them.
walking with them.
The thing is, people read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Right.
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I gotta read the book.
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad is based on the life of a man named Keith Cunningham. Robert Kiyosaki followed this guy around for 5-10 years, and he wrote a book about him and called him Rich Dad. Keith is my friend. I can call him on the phone right now. Wonderful man, him and his wife. So I got to the point where my strongest gift was networking.
Okay.
I learned how to network in prison, deal with the Asians, with the whites, with the Irish, with the Latinos, with all the different subgroups. I networked and negotiated. I do that now.
Gotcha.
And there's something else that people really don't get. And this is the biggest lesson next to negotiating or networking. There's getting in the room, and then there's staying in the room, and there's knowing what to ask for.
Okay, so that's huge because networking is huge in entrepreneurship. A lot of entrepreneurs are trying to just figure it out. Break that down a little bit more for the people.
Getting in the room is step one.
Okay.
So there's an event, there's a place, there's a space, the people are going to be there, you're going to show up.
Right.
So whether you get invited in or you find your way in, you're in the room with the people.
Right.
Wherever the people are. Whether it's the Keith Cunninghams, the Joe Polishes, the Cameron Harrells, it's the Tucker Maxes, whoever it is. You got to get in the room.
Yeah.
People tend to be able to do that at one level.
Yeah.
Now that you're in the room, you got to be able to stay in the room. Because when the party's over and all the crowd gets shut out, then the real party starts.
Yeah.
Let's get all the bums out and get all the followers out, get all the fans out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Magic City doesn't pop until the doors close.
Right.
Magic City don't pop when Jeezy and Puffy and them come.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't in there.
Right.
I ain't in there either, so don't get me wrong. When Puffy pulls up at 3 o'clock and they close the doors, and that's when it pops.
Right.
That's when it goes boom.
Right.
Let's move all these people up out of here.
Yeah.
Take that small change with you.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jeezy and Young Jock and Puffy and wherever they mob, they all come in.
Yeah.
And they have a party.
Yeah.
What you thought you was living it up, it was lit. No, it's about to really get lit.
Right.
The dance was entertaining you. They waiting on a real party at 3 o'clock.
Right. Right.
They watching their clock.
Yeah.
Y'all just in the way. So when you're in the room, it's step one. Knowing how to stay in the room. Don't say something crazy. Don't overplay your hand. Don't be, I'm saying, a nag. Don't be annoying.
Yeah.
I'm saying, don't be trying
It's
to
strategy too.
So sometimes people come in, they say and do stuff that's just not appealing, and they get shown the door.
Right.
But they don't, and sometimes you get shown the door by not getting invited back.
Right.
You came in, you made this great pitch, you thought they loved you, but nobody called you back.
Right.
Yeah. You don't get to stay in the room. You made it in the room, you made the pitch, but nobody called you back.
Got you.
Getting in the room, step one. Staying in the room, step two. And knowing what to ask for is step three.
I hope y'all heard that right there. That is a major gem for all entrepreneurs, just, in their networking process as you're trying to meet the right people. A lot of entrepreneurs have people that they look up to, and we do things by just, I'm just going to write in their comments or send them a DM, or, there is a strategy to it. And what Andre just said, I hope y'all just take that, break that down, and figure out what strategy works best for meeting the people that you all need to meet to open the doors in your entrepreneurial route. So Andre, where are you at now? Like, are you doing a lot of speaking? Are you still talking to people in the jail?
Where am I at now? I am a prison consultant because I know prisons.
Right.
So I have prisons around the country who hire me and my team, the Academy of Hope, to come in and institute programs. So we've been in prisons across the country, and they give us housing units. So I have my own housing unit.
Okay.
In the sense of, literally, there's a housing unit in the prison that I control. I decide who goes in it. I decide what they do all day. I design the programs. I do the mentoring. We do the classes across the board.
Got you.
So to go from being locked in a prison to having control over prisons is crazy. The governor of Kentucky, the last governor, was going to give me my own prison. He says, Dre, you run this thing.
Yeah.
You just do what you do because we know you know this better than us.
Yeah.
And people are like, why would they give you a prison? I ask people, citizens as we call them, if you got kidnapped by Al-Qaeda in the Middle East someplace, how many years would you have to be in jail before you trusted them?
That's deep.
What's your answer? You're on tour, you're on vacation, the Al-Qaeda group grabs you up because you're an American and you're a Christian or you're whatever they call you. They lock you in the basement. How many years would you have to be there before you trusted them?
10 years.
After 10 years, you trust them?
I really don't even know, to be honest.
I'm not saying you get, trust them. Like, I
Yeah.
got faith in these dudes. They're gonna give me a fair shot.
Yeah.
How many years would you have to be there for you to trust them? Never.
Never. Yeah.
That's what we got in the American prison system. United States of America versus John Doe. State of Tennessee versus John Doe. The state of Florida versus John Doe. John Doe's locked up. Now the people who have you locked up and oppressed are trying to say, trust us, let us help you get a better life.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
And it's talking about rehabilitation.
No
and
trust.
All that. Yeah.
You might as well be Al Qaeda.
So do you feel like that's where you come in?
That's where I come in.
The trust?
The trust is there. They have great programs.
Right.
But they don't have trust.
And that's the
We establish trust.
Got you. So you're going in here, creating trust amongst the inmates.
The 2% that makes the whole thing work.
Yeah.
We're not the we're not the major big part of the prison.
Yeah.
But the 2%, that little piece of thing that says, okay, this is a differential between your system and your program. Working is not working is them.
Got you. And then how long are you in a particular prison?
I've been in South Carolina prisons for 2.5 years. We went from, there was a riot and 7 people died. We came and took over. We went from 7 people dying, 30 wounded. In the last 2.5 years, 1 fist fight.
Amazing. And
no, it's not amazing.
Yeah.
The brothers inside are smart.
Yeah.
They have integrity.
They just needed somebody.
They need someone they can trust that they can communicate with.
Right.
So it's not that the guards are bad people in some instances.
Yeah.
They don't have communication skills that these guys can actually connect with.
Right.
So if there's no communication, there's no peace.
Got you. So I guess to wrap the podcast up, what would you just, from your experience from being in jail, creating your own businesses, working for successful businesses, having extraordinary networks with people, what would be your advice to like new entrepreneurs?
New entrepreneurs understand what are you selling?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So I've met so many people who are unclear on exactly, they want to help everybody. They want to serve everybody. They want to do everything. They don't want to shame or walk away or hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
In business, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings.
Definitely.
That's just part of business. So I would say to you, say you have a service. I would say, who do you help? Men or women?
Men.
White or black?
Black.
0 to 18, 18 to 32, 32 plus.
18 to 32.
College, no college.
College.
And then I would go from there and say married, not married.
Married.
So now you help black men, 18 to 32, who've been to college, who was married, and they want to do entrepreneurship.
And see,
that is a clear,
precise, target market.
Does that mean you can't help a Latino guy?
No.
Does that mean you can't help a white lady?
No.
Does that mean you can't help somebody who's 42?
No, but you know your target market.
And I get people in the room and they don't know their target market.
Because everyone thinks, I can sell to everybody. Everybody likes my stuff.
And they might.
Yeah.
But you have to pick your avatar, as they say in business.
Yeah.
And then, what are you selling them?
Right.
What are they getting from your service? What are they getting from you? So when I come in the room with people, clarity is everything. Because if you're not clear, it don't matter. So
Right.
my clarity statement, live with intention. I'm going to die one day.
Right.
And when I die, they're going to chisel on my gravestone something. And having watched my grandmother pass years ago, she had cancer in the throat. And she refused to have surgery. She said, my life is good, my kids are good. I can't live the way I want to live. I just assume go.
Yeah.
She planned her own funeral. So long story short, that was intentional. I mean, down to the guy who threw the dirt on her grave, he talked to her every day. Because when the funeral was over, I came back out to the gravesite, looking at my grandma's casket, and this white dude walks out and says, yeah, man, Juanita. I was like, huh, what?
Yeah.
Juanita, who you got? He's like, oh, she called me every day. We talk daily about this. And that's my grandmother. She was intentional.
Yeah.
Coming and going. So I said, okay, Nana, thanks for the lesson. My tombstone. I'm going to be intentional about what they chisel on my tombstone. My kids ain't going to do it. A bunch of people crying at the funeral home ain't going to do it. It's going to be written out. Harvard Fellow will be chiseled on my tombstone. I did the work.
Damn.
Honorable Son will be chiseled on my... I've gone intentionally to my parents and done stuff for them so I can get the term Honorable Son chiseled on my tombstone. I'm working on eradicating slavery in the form of mass incarceration. I want that chiseled onto my tombstone. So I ask people, what are they going to chisel on your tombstone? And this will determine how focused and intentional you're living. Then when you give the wrong answer or the shady answer or the I don't know answer, I'm like, you ain't ready, and I walk away. And I say to myself, he ain't about the business. He's floating. She's floating. So I ask people questions and they don't know how to answer. I'm like, they ain't ready.
Yeah.
And I keep it moving.
Yeah.
So I want you to ask all your listeners, are you living with intent or is life happening to you?
And that's a gem right there for all my new entrepreneurs. If that didn't get you rattled, get you thinking about what you got going on, to be intentional about what you're selling, who you're selling to, your target market. I want to thank Andre for sure for coming into this podcast, because you definitely dropped a lot of knowledge in a different perspective than most of us are thinking, but there was so much that could be broken down for every entrepreneur out here listening to this.
Right. If I can go from the basement of a prison with a 100-year sentence to working at the White House, to working at Harvard, to working at London Business School, to being a top motivational speaker on the planet, to running prisons that I used to be in, what can you do?
What can you do?
What's in your way?
Right.
What do you say? What's in your wallet?
Hey.
What's in your way?
Hey.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what's in your way, because I had a few things I would ask you. Which do you think is harder?
Yeah.
This is for your listeners. Which is harder? A gang member with a 100-year sentence making it to the White House?
Yeah.
Or one of your entrepreneurs doing great in business?
Definitely the first option.
I did the hard part for them.
Now they just got to apply the application. Man, write the business plan, y'all. Come on, write the business
I
plan,
did
please.
the hard one, dude. I did the hard one.
Yeah.
I left them the easy one. That's
Man.
what OGs do.
Man, y'all, entrepreneurship unlocked. Y'all just got to apply application. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Peace.
That was straight.
That shit was straight as fuck.
Appreciate it. That was dope.
Yeah. I didn't know he was gonna come and drop a bomb like that.
You're right. Boom.